Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7 of Apotheconversations Fantasy Football Royal Palm Aluminum. I'm met here with Casey Thomas and Logan Ruskowski.
Hello.
Howdy.
My name is Sean McGurk. And in our episode 7, I'd like to start with the winners and the losers. In the last week of Final Fantasy Football, I had won the game myself, so that's good. Sorry, John. Commissioner beat Mikey. Nightmare Tornado Supernova won over Fungus Among Us. Teddy D won over my wife. Sorry, honey. Jimmy lost to Beast Mode Brigade, and the Phoenix fell to Ken's impressive team. Generic ass
Who
name.
would have seen that coming? Oh, wait, this guy.
Real quick. I just want to plead my own case here.
Uh-huh. This sounds like some excuse bitch shit going on.
Turn on the excuse
Oh,
machine.
I'm already
Fuck.
swearing. I'm trying not to.
As I go,
Four
fuck.
fucks in a row.
Guess what? The injury gods caught up with me, and here we are.
Yep.
Casey, where does that leave us in our guesstimates?
So for 6 weeks now, we've been recording our pick'ems, and as it stands, Logan and myself are tied at 21-15, and Sean
You could have flipped a coin.
is only a couple of games back at 18-18. So
Which means that our accuracy rating of being able to guess who's going to win, who's going to lose, hovers just over 500% as a team, or 500 as a team.
Yeah.
And I literally could flip a coin and get my answers more effectively.
You know, it's
Awesome.
there's always room for an upset, and you got to be good. to know.
fantasy is a fickle beast. So
Yeah.
It doobie do. On to the next segment. Now on to next week's pick'ems. So if I push this button right here. Coming up, we have the Mad King versus Tabs the Mighty. Husband on wife action in the least sexy way. Casey, what did we say?
Missionary straight, no chaser.
So Sean and I picked Sean this week,
'Cause I'm
and
a woman.
Logan is supporting Tabby this week. Tabby
Which
the
is- I
Mighty.
think she's-
Feminism only takes you so far, Logan.
I think she's got it this week, but we'll talk about it in a second.
All right. On next is the Commissioner versus Fungus Among Us.
This is one of the two that we all unanimously chose. In this case,
It was
me.
you.
It was me. It was me, guys. So
Sorry, Tim.
All right, Timbaland.
On next is Lucky 13 versus Ken's impressive team.
So
What did I say?
you and Logan picked Ken this week.
Yep.
And I chose Mike, and I'll defend
Oh.
myself when we get to it.
We'll get back to that. Afterwards is Nightmare Tornado Supernova and Beast Mode Brigade.
So, Logan and I chose Daniel Massat, and Sean chose John.
Somebody's got to love John.
We all do.
Yeah,
The fifth of 6 matches is Steamrollers versus the Happy Pancakes.
this was the other unanimous decision. We all chose John McGurk.
Sorry, Happy Pancakes. Thanks for the trades, but you're not going to win. And the final match of the week, the matchup of the week, according to whatever that means, is Trouble D versus the Phoenix.
So, we had Sean and Logan both picking Logan.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose Teddy.
Intriguing.
Well, we're going to have to see how it all shakes out. Now, guys, Logan, who do you think the toughest one to sort out was?
I think. Sorry, I'm trying to drive here.
You're
at the
doing a great
same
job.
At the same time, I do think, which is I think the chance to defend myself here. I do think Tabby and Sean's matchup is going to be really interesting in a lot of ways. Just because it is my questions on Tabby's team. Can the Eagles bounce back and be a functional team against a stout Minnesota defense? Will Houston kind of continue their upswing? As I slap my microphone, sorry. Will Houston continue their upswing, seemingly as they've kind of been the last couple of weeks trending upwards? And then it's just the question of how well does Washington play. Now, I think, Sean, your team probably has a higher floor in general, but Ricky Pearsall concerns me. I know you probably are. If he doesn't play, you're gonna stick.
I have a backup
I'm
plan.
surprised you actually didn't put Garrett Wilson in. I'd like to hear your theory, your thoughts.
Garrett Wilson's
on...
not going to play according to the.
Oh, he's hurt.
information.
Okay, that's right. Excuse
He's
me. I
toast,
forgot.
my man.
I
Garrett
forgot-
Wilson would be
yes.
playing otherwise.
Skew, you're absolutely right. I forgot he's hurt.
He's
or
toast.
someone. I guess to be fair, you have an easy sub in with Kendrick Bourne.
I
Because
specifically have Kendrick Bourne playing. If it's not only actually if Ricky Pearsall's hurt, it's if Mac Jones is playing.
Mm.
I'm probably going to keep Kendrick Bourne there because they seem to have better chemistry
pretty
than
good connection.
Ricky
Yeah,
Pearsall
that's a
did.
good. I think that's a good
And
call.
then listen, I'm a Denver fanboy. I'm picking this in hopes that Cam's got to be shut down. I love the guy. I want him to succeed every single week. Except
You
for
want him
any
to get
week
his
he
crunch
plays Denver.
squashed. I see how it is.
I want to see it. And I think honestly those differences, and I mean Atlanta's defense looks surprisingly pretty stout as well. There's a lot of decent matchups, and I think good question marks on Tabby's side. Sean, I want your team to lose more because it has more at stake for me as a football fan.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the toughest matchup for me this week is actually going to be the Steamrollers versus the Happy Pancakes. Hope I didn't steal yours. I think that Happy Pancakes does have some juice in it, especially since I gave Breece Hall. Gave it to him. I just donated it to his team.
Jimmy has made a lot of moves to make his team look way better.
His team is very competitive right now. I chose John McGurk because the Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs stack is just going to be 60 points from his team, and the rest of his team just needs to show up. He got 125 points last week when he was trending to not have any action, and Jaden Daniels is expected to have an extremely strong game against Dallas. So, but that being said, Dak's on the other side of that game. We'll be throwing the football a lot, and this Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Tampa. There's generally shootouts that go out there. Jalen Waddle is probably going to struggle a little bit this week. It's going to be a close match, but I still give the edge to Steamrollers. What about you?
I think the hardest one to look at for me was Ken and Mike on the polar opposite end. We're looking at two teams who are kind of struggling to put up points, and this one has some weirdness to it because while projections,
You and me are both with Ken on that one, right?
Yep. You
Why
both
did Mike
picked
take
Ken.
the edge from you?
Honestly, when I looked at his matchups, I know people are very skittish about Zach Charbonnet. I think he's going to end up shaking out to be the more valuable running back in Seattle.
Sorry, Tim.
He
Again,
seems to get the goal line carries a lot. Of
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
I think the big Vidal versus Haskins is really funny.
That is silly, is what
and
that is.
it's it kind of ends up being a wash. But I think that we're gonna see, and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase I wouldn't call it a wash, but I think we're gonna see a little more from T on Thursday in a
What's Pittsburgh's secondary like? Do they have two pretty good ones? Do they have one really strong one?
So they've
for
got
the
Jalen Ramsey,
quarterback?
who's one of the premier corners in the
Sertan
game.
level guy.
I mean,
made a lot of
for
good
a
choice.
long time he was considered one of the best, and he's kind of in the, I won't say twilight, but he's kind of, at the end of his arc, if you
A
will.
lot of people say he might make a better safety now than cornerback. I feel like I've heard a lot of people say that he's not as reliant on being the guy on it. He's more of could fill a zone or something like that these days. But
So, because I'm not as much of a football guru as you two are, the safety has to be more flexible and observant, whereas the cornerback has to be more physically in the face and
Reactive.
reactive.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
corner kind of acts as that peripheral, or that the arms of the defense, right? So to kind of not only keep the wide receivers in check, but to kind of follow them. Your safeties, depending the strong or the free, they kind of are almost like the quarterback of the defense because they
Is
have
the
the
Mike
farthest
normally
back.
a safety?
No, the Mike is the middle linebacker.
And
yeah.
so
So
the
he
middle
can-
linebacker, it changes play to play?
Depending on it,
Why do they keep saying that guy's the Mike? I'm like, don't you know who the fucking Mike is by
So
now?
depending on
Please lay it on me.
Yeah. So depending on the style of defense that you have, the Mike is the middle kind of vocal player.
He's in
almost
control
like
of
the captain. He's
the
in control of the
defense.
line
Generally, yeah.
and focus on the quarterback. The safety is usually the captain of the back four, if
Gotcha.
you will, or five, kind of piloting everyone else, directing traffic
And
if you
filling in
will.
where there's weaknesses.
Right.
And especially it does change in a defensive set of a 3-4 versus a 4-3 versus, I mean,
Right.
depending on what you're doing, you could have two guys out there in the middle, and then it's more important to know where the mic is to be who's calling the shots, what's going to happen, blah blah blah. If it's a 4-3, you know, four guys down, three drop back as linebackers, it's generally easier to tell unless they're doing some wacky stunt configuration or something. But it's always good to know as an offensive line where that guy is, because generally
Gotcha.
he's an important piece out there. I mean, they're all important, but you know.
So do they say that guy's the mic because it doesn't not because it changes, but to reinforce where the pressure is going to be coming from?
Sometimes it's
Or distraction.
sometimes the mic ends up being the spy too,
Mhm.
where he's kind of the one that's
Comes in Krungus's Josh Allen is trying to run.
His goal in the play is to kind of free roam and keep tabs on where the QB is going.
Well, thanks for the football lesson. And as a quick reiteration of who's going to be winning and losing this week, lay it on us one more time.
Last time, Sean, you and myself have picked you. Logan is going with Tabby. We're all picking me. I'm picking Mike, and you two are picking Ken. Logan and I are picking Daniel Massat. You are picking John Hansen. We're all picking John McGurk. And Logan and you are choosing Logan, and I'm going with Teddy.
Well, to the best man win. Excuse me. To the best person win. We have a woman in the league
Yes,
now.
we do. We are woke.
We're a feminist organization.
Woman-owned business.
We have women-owned business. Absolutely. We'll stop here for now. Well, the subject of team construction, Logator brought up an interesting subject to me earlier in the week, and I know we briefly spoke about it, but I think it's good to dive into. Logan said that a team should be built from the offensive line out. Logan, could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think I might have mentioned this even last week when we recorded, but I don't know what brought this thought on, but thinking about teams that I hate, like the Raiders and like the Jets and the Giants to an extent, although they seem to have struck a little gold this year, I feel like they're constantly, this is completely non-fact based, my total vibes based dude with a microphone shit. But I feel like my biggest issue with them is they draft talent, they don't draft a core, which in my opinion, as a larger lad, as a chubby young little boy back in the day, I thought it was most important to build your team from the offense, because that is offensive line, excuse me, because that is, in my opinion, just the heart and soul of a football team. I mean, because it can help change your entire identity. It can help, determine whether or not you're a get the ball out of your hands in 2.3 seconds, 2002 Miami Dolphins. Not 2002, 2022 Miami Dolphins, 2023, whatever year that was. Whether you're a hard
2024 or 2025,
your Pittsburgh Steelers hard nose, run it down their throat with Willie Parker and Jerome Bettis and all those guys, or you're going to be perennial trash because you're trying to throw anything deeper than 10 yards and you need at least 3 seconds for the quarterback to be able to throw the ball, and they're sacked in 2 seconds. I feel like a lot of those teams missed the mark in drafting. I don't know why I always come back to Michael Crabtree, but like drafting someone like Michael Crabtree, high upside, Malik Neighbors, super high upside, which give credit to him where he's due. In the Giants organization, he's been playing pretty well, but
when he's not broken,
and when he's functional. But I think
sometimes I forget that Jimmy had Malik Neighbors on his team, right?
Yep.
And he's still doing pretty good, I think, without his star player.
He has made it through the injuries very well now. Better.
Yeah.
Better. I think the happy pancakes of last year wouldn't have won these games.
No, I don't think so either. So encapsulate your point. Your opinion is that if you were to kind of start from scratch, the first group of people that you would focus in on from a money and a draft perspective is the offensive line. Specifically, I think with Casey's statement, the center and the blindside tackle.
Yeah, I think I will say credit. I think it was John Hansen said center and
Okay.
blindside
Excuse me.
tackle.
No credit.
Because
to
I know
Casey.
he'll yell at us after this for
Well,
not
he's
for
sorry.
not
I mean, if he
proper
listened to our show,
accreditation.
he could yell at us.
But no, I mean I do tend to agree with him there. I think a plus line can make a C plus quarterback a B plus.
Well,
You know
let's,
what I mean? Like
since
kind
you
of
said
thing.
some ratings, let's name 10 quarterbacks and let's put some ratings on them. So Lamar Jackson and
Lamar and Josh Allen are A
A's.
plus. They can effectively function without a line out there.
Where's
kind
Jalen
of.
Hurts? Are you able to extract him from his offensive line?
I think he benefits a lot from his offensive line.
I think-
The entire tush push is based around the success of that offensive
I think
line.
What
Jalen-
rating would you give him?
I would make him a B minus.
A B minus.
I think as far as his tools, he can throw the ball far, but his accuracy is lacking for an A or an A plus quarterback in my mind. I think his mobility makes him super valuable, but to Logan's point, he's in a tremendous scenario where having an amazing offensive line these last few years have really benefited him, and we're starting to see as some of those guys retired, and we're seeing that people are honing in directly to the run game,
That it's deteriorating.
and they're saying, okay, beat us over the head. And I think last week there were a couple of throws where wide open receivers like 6-7 yards open and like completely missed.
Stay tuned on Twitter and you'll see that Devonta Adams and AJ Brown comment about it.
Devonta Smith.
Devonta Smith.
Did I say Devonta Adams?
No, Devonta Adams
I
is
mean,
with the
did I say-
the
which one did I
Rams.
say?
You said Devonta Adams.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant Devonta
But
Smith.
Devonta Smith in particular was the most egregious miss that I saw, where it would have been an easy touchdown
Yeah.
for Mike Cool, and I almost pissed myself when
That was on the Thursday
when it was
game, too.
it was wide open and missed it, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then you calibrated him as a B minus, which I would say might even be high because you haven't seen him extracted from that
No,
offense.
I'm not gonna
He won a Super Bowl.
lowball him.
He's
yeah,
won a Super Bowl.
it's
Yeah,
I gave him a
what
B
about Brock
minus.
Purdy?
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I think Brock's the quarterback I'm the most interested in seeing outside of his system.
It would be Brock.
I would love to see because I think Mac Jones is emblematic of this. How plug and play friendly Shanahan's offense is. Maybe not necessarily easily plug and playable, but
All
like,
requires anybody in the NFL is a hyper talented individual.
Yeah, but a C plus. Mac Jones maybe Mac Jones is maybe the epitome of a C plus quarterback. I don't know, or maybe
Yeah,
a
he's
D
a-
plus.
No, I think you're right. I think Mac Jones is a C plus,
And-
B minus.
What teams was Mac Jones on before?
He was
on
drafted
New
by the
England
Patriots.
Patriots after the loss of Brady
Yep.
and Belichick and the entire O-line.
He was the first quarterback post Brady, I think, if I
Yes.
remember the
He
timeline
was
right.
drafted 4th overall in
Yeah.
his class.
Then he played
And
on
then
the
he went on-
Jags.
The Jags was where he went right afterwards
Yeah,
I think.
he was traded to the Jags
as their backup.
when the Patriots went off of him, and I believe he was there for a year, maybe 2,
And now he's.
and now he's
Now he's with the
Mac Jones
49ers.
is only 5 years.
I remember watching him in college. He won the national championship in college, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, we've talked about two things here also. Systems, like the Kyle Shanahan system, and we've talked about the O-line quality.
Mhm.
And are we able to break apart those two things? Can you have a really good O-line without a great system, or would you not even see it? Is there such a difference between a really high-level individual and a mediocre one?
Well, I mean, when you talk about how good an O-line is, there's overall productivity, but there's also, how well they are against the pass and how well they are as far as run blocking goes. Because you have teams out there who are tremendous, with running.
One
For
or
instance,
the other. Yeah.
Indianapolis has a tremendous offensive line led by
For run backing.
Quentin Nelson that
Run block.
they are able to run the ball ferociously. And
They do a pretty good job protecting Daniel Jones as well.
Well, that's a byproduct of it, Sean. As you're able to enforce a heavy ground game, the teams have to stack the box, and that allows when you run a play action or you run a play
There's
that
some
the
open
running
men.
the focus, you're kind of on your toes, not sitting back on your heels. You're on your toes going forward, ready for the run, and when you think it's run and here comes the pass, you're not as prepared.
And I think it kind of it would make sense that the inverse of that is true. The reason that Jonathan Taylor is having he's always been really good, borderline great, top 5 in the league, top 10 in the league, regardless of the year when he's not injured. But I think the reason he's having incredible success this year is they actually have a passing game now that they have to worry about. You haven't had to worry about the Colts passing game for 5 years.
So once again,
Daniel Jones,
there's a
what's his rating? Well, I mean,
last year he would have looked like a D plus, right?
Okay, with the Giants, and what does he look like right now? He looks like a B to me.
He looks like a B, and I bet you he didn't suddenly get like some kind of neuropathy where he's gotten some stellar ingrained future text in him.
I'm a believer. I saw it week 1 when he absolutely torched the Dolphins, even though I said it was the Dolphins guys. Like we need to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, he has shown tremendous strides. At least is making the Giants look like even bigger dolts.
Yeah,
right. 2 years after letting Saquon go.
Was Brian Daboll the coach when Daniel Jones was there too?
He was. Yes. I think they were both. It was both of their first year together. I think 2018 was like their big year. I think Brian Daboll won Coach of the Year that year or something like that.
Gotcha.
Or maybe his second year. I don't remember
How is their offensive line developed from a personnel standpoint? If you guys happen to know this off the Giants.
The Giants?
Yeah,
I don't.
Is there a big draft? Did they get any new draft pieces?
I think
Jimmy would be the one to talk to on that. Jimmy's our resident Giants fan.
Jimmy will insert an interview next week.
Their big draft pick this year was Abdul Carter, a defensive end.
Yep.
Or edge rusher, whatever the fuck you want to call him these days. And he's been playing very well. That was not a bad pick on there, which actually I think kind of leads us. What?
Yeah, I was going to say, no. Like Abdul Carter should have been, I think, the consensus overall number 1 pick.
Absolutely. But I think that leads to your point of what you were talking about earlier this morning, Casey, that you kind of have an idea of like building its defense first as like the other side of a team rebuild.
I think defense is important for a team too, and you're absolutely right. As far as building an offense, the offensive line is the core. You can't get anything done without having guys who are working as a team and gelling together on the offensive line. For defense, it's really just, you want to have that premier edge rusher. You need someone who's going to pressure the quarterback, and I think that's probably the most important piece outside of maybe your Mike, your middle linebacker, or even a solid, if not number 1 corner that you can have to really feel like they can hone in on the playmakers that you're going up against.
Because generally the NFL, there's only this one really outstanding wide receiver that's on any team particularly that really separates himself from the rest of the pack.
If you're lucky enough, yeah. I mean, there are a couple teams where I would argue that their wide receiver 2 could be a wide receiver 1 on some other teams and stuff like that.
T. Higgins,
Devonta Smith. Honestly, some of the Chargers these days are all kind of getting there. Devonta Adams.
Sure.
Devonta Adams has been a number 1 guy. This is the first time in his career Devonta Adams is not the number 1 guy on his team. But for the most part, you have at least a main guy out there.
Who's another wide receiver on the Jets? I don't know anyone's name.
I think is Allen Lazard still there?
Lazard is on. He's gotten 1 catch this year.
Yeah, he's technically there.
How many passing yards did Justin Fields get last week?
I think net, because his net yards, which means sacks go against.
Yeah.
He had, I want to say, negative 40 yards.
His passing yards was negative.
I guess 9 sacks 10. To the Denver Broncos would.
So I do think this is, speaking of corners and whatnot, the reason, one of the reasons why Denver is so dominant this year on defense, I saw a thing, they are 10 sacks ahead of the next closest team, is because they have
9 of which were the Jets.
9 of which were the Jets, fully, but they were still
9 of which were Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
They were leading the league even prior to that, but the reason is
looking at me.
You have Justin Fields.
He still gets me
You're
points.
the local Jets fan, right?
Oh my God.
How many points did Justin Fields get you last week?
Local Jets
Yeah.
fan.
How many points did he get you last week?
I think he got me like 5 or 6 points. It wasn't great. It was enough to beat Mike, though. Thank you.
It wasn't enough to beat Mike because Mike had an issue because Stafford also shit the bed.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Well, Stafford lost Puka. Anyway, but the reason I say that is because we have Patrick Surtain, who's a very, very good cornerback over there, who can effectively shut down one half of the field by himself, leaving a lot of room. Because usually you'll have to send a linebacker over there to help. You'll have to send a safety over there to help. With someone like that, you have the room for a free safety blitz off the corner like no one's going to expect. You have the room to send some extra pressure up the middle, taking away, taking the edge guys away, kind of thing. There's a lot of options.
Watching that because they had gotten so much pressure, they ended up pulling a tight end in to act as a pass blocker for like the rest of the series.
It's a jumbo set. You go into jumbo set for the rest of the game.
I'm trying to remember which team I saw in the last week or so. It wasn't the Chicago Washington games.
It wasn't the Jets.
It wasn't the Jets. They didn't make that decision in an appropriate
They probably
time.
could have pulled a fan out of the stands and be like, stand here.
Would have done better. Yeah.
Yeah. No, some of it was like wiggy bad.
Yeah. Anywho, sorry.
So defense centric, offense line centric. My opinion, actually, I align with you. I'll say that clock control is the most important thing in football, and the more you don't have to make 20 yards a play. If you made 3.8 yards a play, that should be enough, right?
Yeah, that'll get you
every
there.
time. Then you can win the game with no issue at all. You would literally annihilate most opponents.
It would be tough to beat you if you're doing 9.5-minute drives every quarter.
Because
every time you get the ball.
Offense, and even if you had a really bad defense, your offense would start to scale faster because you would bleed down the defense.
I would even go as far to agree with you, not fully that offense first, but I think if you're putting a team together, I think you focus on your offensive line and your defensive line. I think those two components, if you have a strong vibe with that core, that you can build out the rest of your team from there.
I think with a really strong offensive line, you can turn a C+ quarterback, somebody in the middle 12 to 24, into a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Case in point, 2001, the Baltimore Ravens, 2002, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both of those teams had quarterbacks, Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson. They're not Hall of Fame quarterbacks, no offense, guys, but
they listen, obviously, to this podcast.
They built their foundation. Those teams were built with a foundation of an extremely good offensive line and an offense that was run first and a defense.
Yeah.
A strong, stout defense that could hold a team to 10, 12 points a game.
And you win the game 15-12. 15, like every game is just you don't barely win, but it's like they just can't
it's
beat
not
you.
super fun to watch.
Well, and we've seen Super Bowls where you have the top offense in the league against the top defense in the league, and 9 times out of 10,
the defense stops.
The defense is gonna win.
Again,
I was going to say, your Broncos
2013, they
against the Legion of Boom.
Historically good offense, like one of the best offenses in history, got annihilated in the Super Bowl, lost by 30 points.
Because that defense was legendary.
Yeah, to be fair, Russ was playing pretty well at that point.
Yeah,
it wasn't just, but
in order to make your defense be able to do what it needs to do, though, you need to have a certain first quality, because you can have a bunch of superstars on defense, but they're going to run out of gas by halftime, before halftime,
if they're
on the field all the time.
Yeah, you got to be able to control the clock.
So I would say, once again, it's your offensive line, and then you can invest in. You need to have. It's not even that the offensive line needs to be superstars; they need to be organized. The first drive of the Miami Jets game, where they ran the ball down the field 8-9 minutes.
It was like 12 play, 13 play drive. Yeah,
murdered the Dolphins, wore them down, and then they dropped the ball. Literally, they got the donkey punched the ball out of their hand, Braylon Allen at the goal line. That was an extremely good, well thought out drive, and then they lost it.
Yep,
they completely lost it.
I mean, that was
and then their defense was really good.
He's the resident Jets fan, not me.
He's a Jets fan. I know.
I do like the colors on the Jets.
Sean is an in the closet Jets fan. He just won't admit
I'm a
it.
Right.
yet.
49ers fan.
Closet.
Actually, I'll be real. I'm a football fan. I like
God
every team
bless America.
except for the Tennessee Titans.
Really? That's like
Fuck them.
it's kind of like in case you'll.
I don't
It's
think
kind
we're
of
gonna be able to
people
get swearing out of there.
who hated the Lions back in the day.
Yeah.
Like
why?
when people like it's a free win for your
You're
team every
beating-
year,
why,
basically.
Why are you
like,
beating down?
I had a
Why are
kid
you
in
hating on the?
I had
Yeah.
a kid in
the
elementary
kid everyone
school.
beats up.
His name was BJ. He was in 3rd grade with me, and he lied to me and told me that he read Goosebumps.
what a bastard.
Goosebumps was cool. I read a bunch of them. You remember the soft back book for
Oh,
Goosebumps?
yeah.
Oh, I
They had the whole
remember
collection.
Goosebumps.
Although those were very compelling stories, he'd never read a Goosebumps in his life. I don't know what BJ's doing these days, but fuck him.
He's not watching
What's-
this, but if he is,
what does
fuck
this have to
you,
do with-
BJ.
The Tennessee
Anything.
Titans suck.
RBJ.
They're
Okay, I
BJ.
get it.
Was he a Titans fan or?
I look at him like a soft blue person. So yeah, I definitely see that.
Well, thank you for coming to Sean's therapy session.
On to the next segment.
And then BJ said he had read The Mask Comes Alive at Halloween or whatever, but he didn't.
Man, the best one was the one where you choose your own adventure one.
I never did.
Where
I,
all
never,
adventures lead to death.
Yep,
I read that one.
I
That was
remember
a
that
good
one.
No, I didn't.
No.
Fuck you too. I don't think we're getting swearing out of this show.
Bye for this episode or for this segment.
And to round out this episode, I want to talk about our favorite moments from last week's football. Casey, what do you think?
Oh, this weekend I was in Washington D.C. Was with
You went
my
to the Commanders
family.
game.
Yeah, no.
Which
But
was in Chicago.
funny enough, when I was flying home on Monday, I got to catch the first half of Monday Night Football, and it was the Bills and the Falcons. And I think my favorite moment was watching the Falcons dismantle the Bills, particularly watching Drake London and Bijan Robinson absolutely just go to town.
Do you think that Michael Penix had a boosted game?
No, I
Is
think
any of it him?
No, I don't think it was him. He made I will give him credit that he made some very good throws. His receivers were open. I think the Bills are in trouble with their secondary. I think the Bills of
Is it a health thing? Are they hurt right now?
No.
No, they
No,
just,
it's an ineffectiveness.
Uh-oh.
And I think their secondary you don't see the stats, but I think of all the teams in the NFL, I think the Bills are the most desperate in need of making a trade before the trade deadline, and they need to acquire a safety because both of their safeties are garbage.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
it kind of showed on that
Mhm.
Monday night game.
Well, they
And-
should trade Josh Allen to a better team.
Well, I mean,
They traded in Miami.
it was nice. It was nice seeing them get absolutely ran over. So like Bijan had a huge 80-yard run. Even the backup Algier had a really nice quality run in the first quarter.
You got a touchdown.
It was just overall really nice.
I would love a Buffalo Bills fan because I don't really know. I've never paid attention. Bills are a cool team. I've no like. Hey, we're back. Sorry, we had to pause it real quick.
What were you saying?
Okay, yeah. So I want to talk to a Bills fan because the Bills are I like Josh.
Do we know
Allen.
any Bills fans?
I talked to Jimmy. He thinks the Bills are really cool, but like I don't know.
Are you
if-
allowed to like the Bills?
I don't. You think he contractually?
Bills
I mean, you're not. If you're a
really
Dolphins fan,
cool.
if you're a Dolphins fan, you can't really like the Jaguars.
I
right?
know a lot about the AFC East teams.
So who do they draft? Because that's the thing. They've had Josh Allen, and I don't.
It seems like the same team every
It seems
year.
like the same team every year. I feel like their defense is continually a problem.
They are getting pretty far in the playoffs though, so they get bad draft position.
I guess, but I mean, you could still get good value in everywhere. Like you can get value anywhere. And Tom Brady was a round 6 draft or something. I don't remember. You can get great draft. Or
Brady
great,
was a 6th or 7th.
Yeah, you can get great value wherever in the draft.
I
But
mean, they're all fucking superstars.
yeah, but like who are they picking? Because their
Bill-
wide
a lot-
receivers are B tier, C tier at best. James Cook is good. I don't like James Cook. Or I'm not a big James Cook fan, but I can say he's playing well. Offensive line seems porous. Defensive has been a problem for 3 years. Who are they drafting? Are they just not working out, or I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's
Well, let's do some research, and why don't we into the
Okay.
next episode kind of pop
Unless-
open?
unless
you
Casey's
can pull
got
it
a-
right there.
yeah.
Casey's
Well, while he's pulling that up, I'll go over my game. I watched the Giants-Phillies game and on Thursday Night Football, and
he played the baseball team. They just rushed the baseball diamond.
Philadelphia Phillies, the Eagles, and watching the Giants win that game, watching Wan'Dale Robinson do Spider-Man tricks. It feels like it was 2 or 3 weeks ago because it was Thursday, was a long time
Right,
ago
yeah.
already at this point. But watching Scattaboo run it in and get me 3 touchdowns, it was a great game. It was not great that Dayball pulled Dart out of what he should have had as a concussion protocol. And I hope Dart's able to keep it up. But Tabby and I are sitting together, and she's deteriorating slowly when she's finding out that, oh, he loves Star Trek. He has the Anakin Skywalker paint on his face. That's why he wears that. Oh, his name's Jackson with an X. Dart. He's a fucking Star Wars character.
He is a Star Wars boy.
That was it was fun to watch that game.
Just about the Bills.
Bills draft?
Yeah, they focused primarily on defense this year in the draft, and it's just right now there are a lot of depth players.
Time period.
They're
too.
developing. The Bills primarily build their defense through free agency, and that's been their problem. They knew coming into this year particularly they were kind of in trouble with the cap as far as a lot of the monies that they had spent in the last couple of years. That's why people have been saying the Bills' window has essentially shrunk, not closed, but that it's getting smaller because...
Which team's window was really almost closed? That was close last year?
49ers was the big one that people were talking about last year. They had a lot of contracts coming up. They had a lot of injuries coming up. That was the one I remember hearing people talk a lot about last year specifically.
Oh, Detroit. Detroit's the one that had
Detroit is in the final year or two before they have to really start paying guys. Teams like the Saints, which unfortunately they've been kind of dog water for the last couple years, but they're so hurting on the cap right now that I wouldn't be surprised to see several big names be traded by them.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about something we were wrong about at the beginning of the year. To finish this up, I would like to say I'm sorry to Spencer Rattler. Spencer,
coming from the captain of the Spencer Rattler hater club.
I think you're actually kind of fun to watch now, and you've been getting closer and closer to wins. And
there's an underdog storiness to him. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm happy. I would like to see the Saints win a few games.
I'm trying to think of when
I was ever
wrong.
Yeah,
no,
right. I'm glad you made that joke because I was going to make that joke too.
Yeah,
so I'm glad
I
you
can
beat
never
me to
think
it.
of. No,
I
but
see.
I think I would like to say that I'm still remaining hopeful at 1-5 that the Dolphins will somehow, some way find a way to win a game here.
What do you think it takes?
I think it takes a huge shakeup, and I know we kind of saw that with Tua making comments, which he knows he shouldn't have. I think the media is very loud, and I think they need to really insulate themselves and kind of huddle up and say, you know what, it's a bad stretch. On to the next one. I think they have a chance to rebound. Playoffs, no, but they can. I think they can do enough to once again take us outside of the top 10 draft picks. So way to fuck us over.
with no context, if someone didn't know what you were doing, for some reason you just turned into a parrot. If someone doesn't have any idea what you're
talking about, playoffs. Yeah.
Well, it's not fair to say that you're sad about your team not winning. That's the one thing that you have to be hopeful about going forward. What about you?
I think mine probably has to be James Cook. James
You
Cook,
were down on him.
I was pretty down on him. I'm like, I don't think.
Where was he on your draft board? What would it have taken for you? 4, 5, 5th round?
Someone I was down on.
Yeah, I was honestly not. He wasn't even on my radar. Like, I went in wanting to get Josh Jacobs was my big running back target that I wanted to get. John McGurk snagged him right before me. So
I think he literally took him round 1.
Yeah, he took JT and Josh Jacobs back to back.
He flipped him right around you.
Yeah, basically.
And it was uncomfortable for you to take Jonathan Taylor when you. So what were your first 2 round picks? Because you were at the end of the
I picked
draft.
BTJ and Cooper or Puka. Puka then BTJ.
Puka worked out though.
Puka worked out. BTJ I traded. I didn't hate, but the way it fell to me. I know James Cook probably wouldn't have made it to the 4th round. It would have probably taken.
I don't think you were even in where you could have picked.
I don't think.
James Cook.
I didn't want to pick him. I didn't think he had the chops to be continually fantasy relevant with an offense that leans so heavily on its quarterback and an offensive line that I think is subpar at best. They're okay. But I just think James Cook, I didn't think he was going to do it. I know he's actually kind of had a downswing the past couple of weeks, but the entire Bills team has. But
Yeah.
for the first 5 games of the season, he was pretty electric. He's
for
4 or
sure.
5 games. So I apologize to you, Mr. Cook, I guess. If
Cook be cooking.
I guess
You were able to find one.
Omari and Hampton, even though he's injured,
Were you down on him?
I was down on him big at the beginning of the season.
And he had a slow start.
I thought the running back that was I thought Najee Harris was going to stay healthy, and as soon as Omari and Hampton took over, he looks good. And even though he's hurt now, like I was definitely wrong. I didn't think he was going to be as big of a contributor this season. So
Last segment. What bullets did you guys dodge? Because I have one. I'll start us off with.
Go ahead.
I traded James Cook or James. What's his fucking name? The Arizona running
James
back.
Conner.
James
Conner.
Conner,
I changed James Conner along
traded
with a
him.
bundle Ruski trade right before his legs broke,
Yeah.
and then
You
his backup's
traded
leg
him,
broke
and the next week he broke. He
during the middle of
he
the game.
broke.
He got broke. So that was
Logan-
my bullet dodge. I
Logan
was
pretty
never.
much had the same thing.
James Conner
Yeah.
was fine. I liked him. He did good for me, and he helped me win my first couple games. But I dodged a bullet at that point. Any bullets you guys dodged?
I mean, I can't even think of it like BTJ came back, has been playing well for one game sample size, been playing well, but I can't even say I dodged a bullet because I drafted him. But I did. I think I wasn't too precious with him. I let him go, at a time that made sense to me, that added good value.
What'd you get for BTJ?
I got Kyron. Our trade was BTJ.
For Kyron and something else.
uh,
And you also traded
no, I
off freaking Kittle in that
No,
trade too,
was
didn't
that,
you?
I'm trying to remember. Was that the same trade? It was Kittle, BTJ, and somebody
Aaron
else,
Jones.
and Aaron Jones for Kyron and I think waiver fodder. I don't remember who the other person was, if there even was anybody.
Hold on. You only got Kyron out of that trade?
I think so.
It was Kyron
What?
and
You gotta pull up that transaction.
I'm pulling it.
I could pull it up here. Let's.
Yeah, it was. Oh no, it was Kyron and Tet McMillan.
Oh, and Ted.
Oh, it's
That's
Tedero
right,
McMillan.
Ted. Yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
Tedero McMillan
I-
was so it's 1-for-1 on Tedero and BTJ.
Yeah,
George Kittle.
I
and
would've-
Aaron Jones.
I would have honestly taken it just all 3 of those just Kyron because Aaron Jones was hurt, Kittle was hurt, BTJ was underperforming. They were giving me nothing, and Kyron has won me 2 games now basically with
I
like
guess
30
the
points.
future
So
is yet to be written about how Kittle plays a role. Is he playing this week?
He is practicing, whatever that means.
Yeah, it's always hard to. The most annoying thing about being a San Francisco fan is that the practice reports are so late in the day because it's 3
West
hours
Coast,
back.
yeah.
What about you? Any bullets you dodged?
I don't know about bullets, but shout out to my boy Isaiah Pacheco
But check
for
the
helping me with
sweetener.
not 1 but 2 trades this year. I was able to trade him.
That's the
Chris
value proposition.
Olave. He was dropped. I spent like $10 to pick him back up
I think
so that
you
I
spent
could
22
trade him
fab
again.
bucks.
So, and I
The
used
sweetener,
Chris
baby.
Olave, and Aaron Jones so that I could get Travis Etienne. So overall, a lot of transactions this year.
I think transactions keep a league healthy, and I'm glad that our league is interested. And we finally broke through to Jimmy, and we had some trades. So
Incredible.
everybody in the
Someone's-
league except for Tabby has traded.
Tabby, I sent you a trade offer.
Trade with anybody but Casey.
Come on.
I would,
You're playing
I would
Sean
love
this
to give
week.
my Casey
I would
metaphor
love
for
to
his
help
trades,
you
but I'm not
beat
going to
your
do
We'll
that.
save that
husband
one
this
for
week.
next week.
That's after dark.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for this episode, Final Fantasy VII of Apotheconversations Fantasy Football Edition. I'd like to thank Logan Murskowski and Casey Thomas for joining me, Sean McGurk, for this episode, and I'll see you next week.
Goodbye. Go Broncos.